You're listening to Shakey Sessions on CCR.
Hello and welcome to Shakey Sessions live on CCR 104.4 FM, and I'm delighted to introduce you my guest for this week, Juanstone.
How's it going, Shakey? All good?
All good, yes, all good, mate. Yeah, are you?
Yeah, fantastic, man. Just coming off fresh of my latest EP, Lemuria.
Yeah.
So yeah, feedback I've got's been colossal. Really excited to get to playing it live quite soon. So yeah, on top of the world with it at the minute.
Excellent. Yeah, I can't believe it's just over a year.
Just
July
over a year
last
now.
year you come in.
No, it's absolutely wild. Like literally from the first radio appearance, which you made immensely comfortable the whole way through. So much appreciated on that, Shakey. That was quality.
Yeah, and then one year, 1 month down the line.
Pretty much, like
with a new EP.
That's it, yeah. So with some of the tracks that came out last year, but what I've done is with one of the tracks that I made earlier this year called Don't Try, I learnt so much about the production process that, like, listening back to those other tracks, I was like, the whole plan was to release it all as one EP, but with the production being the way it was, I'm like, I've got to take some time on these two tracks. So Eudaimonia and Seabeams, featuring a marvellous Saroon Solly from Margate, I basically just gutted the both of them and reassembled them into what I think now is like an EP that really reflects where I'm at production-wise and musically. So yeah, like really, really exciting times at the moment.
Yeah, excellent. And well, tell us a little bit about the track of the week this week.
So
it's the lead track.
Yep. So that is the title track of the EP, Lemuria. It's named after a bit of land. It was sort of like Atlantis. It was theorised in like the 1800s to be a place of like great spirituality and you know, like an extinct group of people where like, you know, the arts and spirituality was put above like most other things. So I thought that actually quite resonates with a lot of the tracks on the album, on the EP. It just felt like a really fitting track for it. That track I actually came up with before Seabeams, before any of the other tracks on the EP. It's just that it sat on the shelf, but not really knowing what to do with it for so long. It wasn't until I made the other tracks that it like came to the forefront.
Oh, right, okay. So we'll have a little listen to this, and then we'll talk a bit more afterwards. And you've also going to play some tracks live as well. Yep,
I've got the setup, so a bit more than what we had last year with just a guitar and an amp. I've actually got a fraction of my live setup here. So whatever tracks you want to hear live, keep us posted.
Brilliant, okay. So first of all, though, we're going to hear track of the week, and this is from Juanstone, and this is called Lemuria.
Lemuria. Yep, fantastic.
Here we go.
Shakey Sessions, track of the week.
Chelmsford Community Radio.
Shakey Sessions.
Welcome back to Shakey Sessions live on CCR 104.4 FM, and you just listened to Track of the Week, and that was Lemuria from Juanstone. Yeah, that's a good track.
Smashing. Thank you very much, Shakey.
And that will now be played every day for the next 7 days.
That's wicked, man.
Breakfast.
No, I really appreciate that, dude.
The lunch show and also the drive home. So, yeah.
No, very much appreciated, man. That's a hell of a shout out on that.
Yeah, so that would be cool. So when you come before, like you said briefly that you just had your guitar and your amp. Now you've got all setups. You've changed a little bit.
Yeah, I think what it was last year, because I'd already done a few gigs. I'd played at I'd done my first gig back at Radio City Social. Did another gig there as well, and at the Crash of Moons Club in Canterbury, which is hosted at the Ballroom. Which I'll also be playing this coming Friday as well. So the setup had already existed for that, but I wasn't very confident with regards to bring it out to many other places. I think, like, with regards to the song that I brought along as well, it really does feel best as like a pure instrumental. But now with, like, again, saying about like the production skills, I also feel that much more confident in the live set, especially since doing the last few gigs at Hotbox with the March Fleet as well. Shout out to March Fleet. But I learnt so much from those gigs that actually, like, in terms of navigating this setup now, it feels almost at home with it. So
that is good. That is. So that's a move in the right direction there.
For sure. But like, I would like to. I'm currently in talks with quite a few other people. They're very good friends of mine, to be fair. But with regards to actually bringing this to life with more people involved than just myself, I think one of the additions I made last year was I started including the visuals from my good friend Patchon, who, as I mentioned last time, lives in Argentina. We've never met before, but we're both very great admirers of each other's work and craft, and so I really enjoy bringing his visuals to life on set, in a live set, because I don't really enjoy the dynamic too much of just being one person on a stage, especially when it's just buttons, dials and faders. It's like, I want to really make this a big show with, first of all, like, other players, but something that gives the audience much more of an experience than just twiddling a few buttons. So
cool, very good. But you have still got your guitar as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So that one, there's always going to be a mainstay. I'd like to play bass some point soon, but bass is like my main go-to. But like, for the time being, because there's so much bass in the music itself, I've got to figure out a way to be able to, like, get both of them to work in tandem. So that's what I'm going to sink my teeth into once the other players start getting involved.
Yeah, nice one. So you mentioned briefly you've got a gig this Friday.
Yep. So that's up in Canterbury. So that's another one that I'll be returning to. It's a promotion called the Crash of Moons Club. And yes, I'll be supporting Moron Butler and Tobias Allen at the Ballroom in Canterbury. I used to live there quite a long time ago, 2008. For a few years there as well, mainly in Margate. But it feels brilliant to go back there, to tap into their music scene, to meet so many familiar faces from there, and to support, like, some of the other art that's coming up there at the minute. So
yeah, nice one. Yeah, that's good. You're playing, like, live gigs and stuff. And you've also got some stuff coming up a little bit later in the year.
Indeed. Huge opportunity, playing the mixed genre mainstay, headlining the mixed genre stage at Radio City Social's Bay Days 2025. Literally can't put into words how much of an incredible honour that is. Bay Days was events that, like, I never went to all of them, but the ones that I did go to, I remember like the back of my hand. Bands like Forever Never, Fake Modo, Eradication, playing them back in the days. It was just like, to actually be involved in a festival that I used to love, like, visiting, being a part of, means the absolute world. So I'm hoping to, like, in terms of talking about the other band members, that's actually why I want to raise the stakes for this gig. I want to get a drummer involved, a singer involved. We're already in talks. I think it's going to be monumental. I want to just deliver the best possible show for the biggest opportunity so far. So yeah, over the moon on that one.
Yeah, it's weird. You mentioned Bay Days. We were talking off mic.
Indeed.
The year that Bay Hall's actually shut down in 2008, I was asked to and went ahead and put on Bay Days that year in the Two Brewers.
It was your baby.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was really weird.
Like bringing it up.
We've been doing quite a few gigs in the Two Brewers by then, and we hadn't had anything booked for that week, that Saturday, so we sort of took over the whole pub for the whole day. And yeah, it was a good day.
Well, the spirit of the Bay Horse needed to be carried on. I mean, like, you know, obviously we've got the Army and Navy, like, which is the Chelmsford royalty, but unfortunately I never got the chance to experience it, being the age that I am. So like Bay Days for us at that time when it existed was almost the next best thing. Just the chance to start seeing some live music in Chelmsford and realising with certain glistens in our eyes that, like, this is what we want to do.
Definitely,
this is what we live for.
Yeah,
right.
Without a doubt. So, like you said, you've got a set up with you today. So you're going to do some live tracks for us.
Yep. So,
would you like to do your?
No worries. So this is a Eudaimonia off of the new EP.
Okay. Nice one.
Thank you very much. Cheers, man.
Right, cool. Yeah, so that's a little bit strange from my experience because you're playing live, but we're actually going through the desk, so I can hear it in my headphones.
Yep.
So usually I film the like the guests
playing separately.
So I'll film like a minute, and then
but it'll actually just be pure silence on the other end.
Exactly. So
we might be able to mix it up after.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the little panic that we had earlier with regards to actually getting it set up, I was like, oh, actually, like the fact that it all worked out.
But that's sort of a first for me. So and it all come out really, really good.
Oh, nice. Well, it was my first on the radio last year, so happy to return the favour. Very much appreciated.
Cool. Yeah, really cool. Wicked. And people might have heard you play a little bit of guitar in that as well. So.
Yeah. So that's always like a staple part of the live shows. It was a decision not to include the guitar playing on this EP in particular. I think it's just one of those where I did experiment a few times, but it just didn't really fit the aesthetic that I was going for with it. There are a few new tracks that I'm working on at the moment where, in fact, I'm actually working more with piano, straight piano. There's in the title track Lemuria, which was the first track that you played on the show. It was there's piano parts in there that I'd never experimented with before. So that's sort of taken its own life and direction into the material that I want to be releasing next. So like I was saying earlier, I definitely want to direct this back in the route of live instrumentation, even if it's just an artistic choice for playing live as opposed to being on record. The record can probably still just be the synthesizers, but live I want there to be that extra element for sure.
Yeah, I think that will make it as well.
No, same. I think, and it's just coming from the experience as well. Like we've been talking about so many live shows, which ones we've been involved in. In my capacity, playing for functions bands back in the day, as well as original bands and everything. This is why all this is new to me. That's why even last year I was a bit apprehensive about bringing in this setup because I'm like, the part that I trust bringing live is the instrumentation. So that's always going to be at the forefront of every creative decision.
Yeah, cool. Right, so we're going to, I think this is an older track, isn't it? I'm going to do a recorded track from last year, Badinage.
Badinage. Fantastic. Yeah, so this was the second track that I came up with under Juanstone. And this track, to be fair, I still really enjoy it as like a closer or like a second to last track. It's something that I haven't got in the live sets at the moment, but I will definitely. And actually, on that note, it's in the same vein as Eudaimonia and Seabeams. I want to gut this track and recreate it with modern production. So it would be interesting. I'm sure most listeners might not even notice the difference, to be fair, but this is one where, in terms of production, I want to bring this one back and make it bigger than ever. So. Got a lot of love for this track.
Cool, let's have a little listen then. This is Juanstone with Badinage.
Thank you.
You're listening to Shakey Sessions on CCR.
Welcome back to Shakey Sessions live on CCR 104.4 FM. And just before the break, you listened to Badinage.
Badinage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm having trouble with you.
No, yeah, a lot of people do. So
and so you come in today because you've got the new EP out, and you've got a couple of really cool gigs coming up and stuff like that as well. So far, we haven't mentioned where people can actually find you online if they're enjoying what they're hearing at the moment. Yeah,
so like the usual places, Instagram, Spotify. So Instagram is at Juanstone. Likewise on Spotify, Juanstone under there as well. In terms of presence other places, there is like occasionally posting to Twitter, TikTok, usually under these same labels. Unfortunately, one of the things I haven't been able to keep up since the last time I visited was the streaming, which I did have a lot of fun with. It was really, really amazing way to connect with friends, fans, and to give everybody a peek behind the curtain, so to speak. And like, you know, as we've been discussing earlier, they actually came up with some of these song names, and like it's one of those that I'd love to get, but I'd really, really want to get back to streaming. It's just one of the most resource intensive things at the moment with regards to time and setting up, and unfortunately just hardware limitations. Like, you know, this laptop here, she's been through a lot, unfortunately, the last few years. So yeah, once I'm able to like get some upgrades and basically like facilitate being able to have a live stream go ahead without any technical difficulties, that's when I want to try and get the bookings back in, so to speak.
Yeah, cool, very good. And we've got some other tracks. You're going to do another couple of tracks live as well.
Yeah.
Would you like to do one of those?
Yep. So this next one is called Seabeams.
Nice one.
Smashing. No, much appreciated on that. And also, completely forgot to mention at the start, the vocals on that track were provided by the marvellous Saroon Solly from Margate.
Yeah.
Absolutely deserves a shout out. She basically sent me over samples, a cappellas of her singing.
Yeah.
Way more than I asked for, like 15 minutes worth of it.
Yeah.
And I was just able to chop up, play around, and come up with this track, which hopefully one day, sometime soon, we'll be able to perform live together. She's absolutely somebody I really want to get involved with what I'm doing artistically.
Yeah. And we should also mention, as well as like the music side, your artwork and your videos and stuff. It's just amazing. Like I've just seen over the last couple of days. That,
Thank you.
Well, you contacted me. I played your track last week, and then you said you'd be able to come on the show this week. I've been seeing you doing videos and all this sort of stuff. How did you learn to do that?
So, and that ties into who I mentioned earlier. The visuals for my videos are actually provided by Pachon from Argentina.
Yeah.
So he... I mean, I don't know the wizardry, like the recipe, what he uses to actually like put all of it together. I know that it takes him a very, very, very long time to do, like to not even so much to create, but just to render, to be able to get the file from screen to like a file that can be shared and used is like, I saw one file that was pretty much about 23 hours. Yeah, it's insane. So massive shout outs to Patchon again. And this is one of the beautiful things from where I've started with Juanstone, is that like it really feels like it's becoming a real team effort to bring all of this to life. Like as I mentioned about Saroon providing those amazing vocals to actually get the track together, bringing in other instruments to bring it more to life. But the most important facet with regards to bringing the live shows to life and taking that huge step in the direction going forward was Patchon and his work. I just cannot put into it. And the guy just continues to level up every single piece of art that he puts across, and we've got such a good relationship that you know, I'm always like one of the earliest people to hear about like these new updates, and we're always in constant contact. Yeah, I'm so happy to have him on board, and like it would be an absolute dream to meet the guy one day, to be able to shake his hand, hug him, thank him in person for being such an integral part of this project.
Yeah. And I guess he can listen. Can he listen to this over in Argentina?
Yeah. No, he's a big fan. So he actually, I don't know if doing the graphics and the art is what he does for a living. I know that the art that he creates, that I use, is his passion project. It's his like, you know, his hobby in that regard. But he has actually told me on several occasions that he really enjoys listening to my music whilst he's making that work as well, whether it's actually creating the art or whether it's his day job working on computers. I do know that like one of the biggest consumers of electronic music in general are people who like, you know, program and do a lot of like scripting things on computers, because it just sort of doesn't detract too much from the work itself. So but yeah, no, I've heard he's a very big fan of it. And with regards to the album artwork, this is one that I could come under fire from a few people from, but I actually use AI. I use a tool called Midjourney. And so to actually like put all of them together, I like to use real photos as the base, and I like to come up with very interesting prompts that like basically try and make it stand out more than most other AI outputs that I see online. I was always a big fan of I used to want to be a comic designer as a kid, so I've always been drawing cartoons. I've always been fascinated with art in general before ever picking up music. So when I'm looking at a tool, there's several tools you can use it, like Midjourney, Sora, etc. But I always like to try and approach it from an angle of like, you know, what would I want to do as an artist, rather than like right, I need a specific thing. I actually just love exploring prompts. I love seeing what other people are using, creating, and just being able to utilise that as an artistic tool, much the same as everything else. So,
yeah, nice one. And is that the same for your like the flyers you put out.
Yep.
Like the flyer you've got for Friday night. I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
Mad.
there's some wild ones. So yeah, that's just it. That's pretty much what I meant by feeding in a photo. So with Lemuria and all of the tracks that have appeared on that album, there's a common theme between all of the single covers that I did of people like floating towards the air. Like, you know, it started with people flying over what looked like Margate, and then there's a few people like flying over tropical islands. And I think that's sort of like what led to the name Lemuria fitting so well in the end anyways, you know, like this land that like people just gravitated towards, that was focused on like spirituality and improving oneself, etc. You know, it felt like such a perfect fit from the artwork that had come out of it before. So but with regards to the flyers, I exclusively use photos of myself with different prompts that I find on the internet. 90% of it is pure junk. Like, you know, when you generate it, the stuff that comes out, it doesn't look good at all, but there's that 10% that just looks absolutely fantastic. And I love, and that's the thing, I don't hide the secret from anybody. Like, you know, there's obviously a lot of controversy with regards to AI at the moment, but the one thing that I always get back from people looking at the flyers is they love them. They absolutely love them. And so there's really, really fun to actually come up with a lot of those. So
nice one. Right, so just between the chat and the live tracks, I've got another. This must be your shortest single, actually. It's Amor Fati.
Amor Fati, yep. Yeah. So, a bit of a departure, this one. This is the one that I played in the studio last year. And again, like, I would really, really love to explore this particular sound, just clean guitar, maybe with some effects like rolled in, but none of the beats, none of the, like, you know, sort of like house staples, just some really ethereal post-rock influenced walls of sound. So yeah, it's a big shout.
Let's have a little listen.
Shakey Sessions.
Welcome back to Shakey Sessions live on CCR 104.4 FM, and that one was Amor Fati from Juanstone.
That's all good, Juanstone.
Juanstone.
Yeah.
And you're saying, as well as this project, you're also in another project. And
very appropriately named a Project in Sound.
Yeah, Project in Sound.
Yep, so with like two very good mutual friends of ours as well, Dan Bailey and Dan Hewitt.
Yeah.
Who I met at Resonance, which shout-outs to Resonance, like held at Hotbox once every 2 months, as well as various other events. If you're a music,
moved now to
the Underground Resistors is a it's a musical conversation where people we bring in our synths and we basically just sit there and come up with things for like 2 hours, and one of the things that's the thing, it's something that I'm nowhere near as well versed as we've established with regards to controlling synthesizers, so I think I'm the only one so far just like rocked up with a guitar. Actually, I think Dan Bailey did as well, to be fair. So, but yeah, we met through Resonance, and as I say, if there's any aspiring or current music producers in Chelmsford that want a chance to hear their music live on the big speakers, look up Resonance and get involved with the events, because it's completely upped my game, and everyone who's been there as well has said exactly the same thing. But yeah, that is where I met the two Dans, and
Dan as well.
Yeah, so we're the 3Ds, which has always meant something else to me entirely. It's deny.
Isn't that also free Dan? He's a karate belt thing or something?
Oh, it could be. Level? Oh, I'm not too sure on that one.
Something like that.
Yeah, no, I quite like a bit of the pugilism, to be fair, so I should probably know that. But yeah, no, so it is, I serve the free Dans, which I think we're looking to recruit as well. So if your name's Dan and you're wanting to get involved in some more music, then just make sure to give one of us a shout. But yeah, we've been rehearsing the last few months at Card Trick Studios. We're hoping to bring a lot of the music off of Project in Sound's first album to life, and so far so good. It's been so fun just playing and jamming in a band, one that's like, I feel a part of it, but obviously it's their baby, and so it's just really cool to sort of like walk into something and just jam, just sit there and just jam with people again. Dan Hewitt brings like a war chest of synthesizers into the studio, which looks absolutely amazing every time and sounds amazing in that respect. But when we just get to sit back and just jam out riffs and guitars, it's been so fun doing that again recently. So we're looking to bring it to life very soon. I won't say too much more, and it's probably not my place to say in terms of where it's going, but I'm very excited to be a part of it. And obviously Dan Bailey as well, playing as part of the March Fleet. All of those boys are absolutely solid. The last few gigs that I've done with them have been some of the best gigs I've ever played.
They're actually coming to play the Black Ball on Halloween. Oh,
fantastic! It seems like a really good shout. It's like a competition as well, is it?
I've got a competition coming up in October, and at the beginning of October, 10th and 11th, Acts for the Future. That's a solo duet competition, but also a band competition.
So staying busy.
Fantastic. So it should be really good. And then the finals for that are in November, the 14th and 15th, that weekend. So that should be good. And so the March Fleet, Dan was one of the people that originally got me involved in the whole thing. Dan and James Brown, when they were the Stunts.
That's
asked me to become their manager, and the rest is history.
Oh, nice.
18 and a half years down the line.
I mean, it flies, doesn't it?
It does.
But I've got so much time for those guys. Especially the two Dans as well. And it's quality seeing them every time we rock up to Resonance. Again, can't say enough good words about what those guys are doing. And very much worth keeping an eye on what they're doing as well with regards to Metalworks, which I won't say too much about on air, but if you get the chance to look up Metalworks, METTLE, whether that's Google, Instagram, keep your eyes peeled because there is some big things coming from those. Very big things.
Yeah, cool. Nice one. So, would you like to do a live version of Track of the Week?
Mm-hmm. Yep, so this will be a live version of Lemuria. Hope you all enjoy. Thank you very much.
And so that was Track of the Week, and that will be played, I think I mentioned to you earlier, that will be played 3 times a day on the breakfast show, the lunchtime show, and the tea
Sorry,
show as well.
that's me. That's one of the parts of the live show. So
yeah. So you've only got like a couple of minutes left. So do you just want to run over what gigs you've got coming up again, where people can find you?
Yep. So, but once again, very much appreciated for making Lemuria Track of the Week. That's a massive opportunity there. Thank you so much. And the gigs coming up. I'm playing in Canterbury this Friday at the Crash of Moons Club. As well as headlining the mixed genre stage at Bay Days 2025, which will be November the 15th. But please don't wait around for tickets on that one. There's limited capacity and they're going to start flying out, so make sure not to lollygag on those. But besides that, working on a few new tracks now as we speak. Very hopeful. There's definitely going to be a single or two before the end of the year. Maybe even hopefully an EP, but we shall see.
Yep. Yeah, well, good. And is there anyone might be listening you want to say hello to?
I know my brother will be listening, James, so big shout out to James, and like any fellow Gooners, Arsenal fans, which I knew that probably wouldn't go down well on it, but at the same point, make sure to check out his podcast, LL Cool James. The big shout outs to Radio City Social as well as the Resonance crew. Really, really big shouts on that one. Thank you very much for having us on, Shakey. It's been amazing.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, it's all good. So we've only got like a minute left. So you just go over where people can catch you on your socials and stuff.
So nearly all the same tag across everything. It'll be at El Juanstone. You can find us predominantly on Instagram, but you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Likewise on Spotify and YouTube, which also I forgot to mention earlier, but that is somewhere that I'm very much going to be paying a lot of attention to, especially for the next part of the year. So stay tuned on that one. El Juanstone once again.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for coming in.
Very much appreciated, Shakey. It's been awesome.
We never really mentioned football in here, but as you did, good luck Tottenham in the Super Cup tomorrow. See if you can win your third trophy in 3 months.
Tremendous. I'm actually going to bow out of that discussion because, unfortunately, like I said earlier, my main thing's pugilism. I don't really do football, unfortunately. But
all right. And I'm looking forward to going back. Worst season ever, but they won 2 cups, and now they hopefully can get a third one tomorrow. So come on, you Spurs! And we'll get back to the music now. And the last hour, this is all new tracks, and the first 3 tracks are actually 3 of these acts. They're all playing in a canteen on Thursday night.